We are currently here at the Moorish castle in Sintra, and we're going to check this place out.
Sintra is one of Portugal's greatest tourist sites. Well known for its architectural beauty, the city was also a long-time retreat for the Portuguese monarchy, which explains why there are so many palaces here, but we'll return to that in a later episode. Today we will be exploring a historic site that is easily the oldest in Sintra, and by several centuries no less. Here, in the aptly named Sintra Mountains, we follow a long winding trail along this ledge. At the top sits an 8th century fortress predating Portugal itself. In the 8th century, most of modern-day Portugal and Spain were conquered by the growing Umayyad Empire, which ruled most of the Middle East and North Africa at this time. This conquest marked the beginning of Muslim rule in the region, as well as the beginning of the Reconquista. Nonetheless, it would not be the last time there would be a conflict in this region in the coming centuries. This site, Castelo dos Mouros, or Castle of the Moors as it is called in English, was constructed by Iberian Muslims within a century or two of the Umayyad conquests. The fortress would later be conquered by Christian forces at the same time as Lisbon was in 1147 AD. As the wars of religion waned across Iberia, so did this fort's importance, as it was abandoned sometime in the 1500s. Down below, you see the village of Sintra, as well as the Atlantic Ocean way out in the distance. The long and winding north wall is a popular site for tourists to snap photos as we did. Over 1,000 years after its construction, it is not hard to see why the fort was built in this spot. To a besieged army, this mountain provided an eagle-eyed view of the world outside. Approaching armies are easily seen, providing ample time for the defenders to take action. Today, the view will only warn you of the weather on the horizon. However, it does make for a great photo. As you can tell, this fortress has seen better days. Abandonment, as well as the 1755 Lisbon earthquake, reduced most of the fortress to rubble and a pile of stones, similar to the actual city of Lisbon itself. Yet already in the 1800s, when Sintra saw its heyday as a retreat for the Portuguese monarchy, the king began restoration efforts. Although many of the original stones lay strewn around the site, the inner walls have been mostly returned to their original state during the Reconquista. As we now begin to climb the eastern wall, which is the highest point of the castle, we can see the Atlantic Ocean off in the distance, as well as the great valley between us. On the opposing mountain, you can see the colorful Peña Palace. This is where the royal family would have resided for parts of the year during the 19th century, although that too went into a period of decline following the abolition of the monarchy in 1910. From up here, we look down on Sintra once more from an even more commanding position. Truly a picture-perfect view. I think it is extraordinary how one castle on the outskirts of Lisbon managed to reflect the complicated history of this country so well. From Moorish rule to the Reconquista to the resurrection of a nation that became buried behind so many others, this castle is a remarkable testament to the Portuguese people. If you visit Lisbon, no stay is complete until you've been here and you've seen the Moorish castle.